Hi guys and welcome back to The Hot Seat. I am your host Priscilla Moy and we are live in studio at Social Media Shows. I'm going to jump right into it. As you guys know, today's theme for our guest is film. And so our first guest is going to be a BFA acting trained actor. Now he is going to be coming here sitting, talking about his past and what really drives him to do the type of films that he does. So everyone please welcome Bryant Smith. Hi, welcome.
Thank you.
You're comfortable with that. Please take a seat.
Thank you for having me.
So, how are you? Thank you for coming here on the hot seat. You look amazing.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean,
we're matching your gold on today,
Nice.
so it's absolutely amazing.
pretty.
So, we're gonna jump right into it. So, honestly, like acting hasn't always been your first thing. Like, you came from California, you went into the military, and you kind of had your journey there to kind of jumpstart you into acting and kind of drive you to do what you do. So tell us a little bit about your past and how you found your way into acting.
Yeah, I mean, I never thought about being an actor or a model or any of that. I was in the Marine Corps for a long time, and then after that, I was a railroad conductor for Union Pacific Railroad, and I thought that's my life. I'm going to be a railroad conductor forever and die on the railroad. Yeah. But I was also a raging alcoholic, and so I kept getting in trouble, getting arrested. They kept sending me to rehab. And I was like, I guess I'm going to stop drinking now just to stay out of jail. So I got clean and sober, ended up losing 50 pounds. And a friend of mine was like, hey, we need a model. Somebody who has like big hair, maybe like an Elvis or James Dean lookalike. And I was like, yeah, that sounds cool, but no thank you. I have no confidence. I don't want to be in front of a camera or taking pictures, but they convinced me. And so I started off doing modeling, just little things here and there. Posted it on Instagram, social media. Somebody saw it, and they were like, "Hey, do you have an agent?" And I was like, I'm not really into this. Like, this is not what I'm gonna do." But so I continued with the railroad, and sooner or later, the railroad finally got tired of me and fired me. So I was like, "Okay, let me do some more of this modeling." And then I got into runway, did runway for a couple years. And then I got my first commercial. And I didn't have any lines or anything, but I'm like, this is kind of cool. I kind of like this. I could do this. Then somebody asked, do you want to try out for the film? And I was terrified. I'm like, yes, maybe. And I got a small part, and I thought, like, I was amazing. I'm like, yes, I did it. And it was in 2018. And so after that, I thought I was pretty amazing. And then I saw my work. I'm like, that was horrible. So I decided that, maybe I should cash in on my GI Bill and go back to school. And so this is my last year at Academy of Arts University in San Francisco. And I'll be graduating with my BFA in acting. And I've been just working as much as I can on top of going to school at the same time. So traveling from here, San Francisco, LA, Sacramento, pretty much whoever's hiring.
Right.
I mean, I audition everywhere. I've worked a lot in Tennessee. I was going to say the East Coast, but Tennessee is not exactly the East Coast. Kind of middle.
It's in the middle.
Okay, yeah.
Midwest.
I was trying to think. I was like,
East
where
Coast. Yeah, kind of is, but that's amazing though. So what I have to applaud you with first is to get your BFA in acting. I did as well. So as you can see, it comes in handy. It's very important, right? Once you started to go there, and now that you're seeing it, starting with acting prior to getting that, I'm sure you could see the differences in how to approach roles and things like that, and why sometimes training is very, very important to be an actor. So I congratulate you on that and having some humility and noticing that if you wanted to get into the craft, to kind of go into more a serious way, which a lot of people don't do, trust me. Like they see themselves like, oh, look at me. Like, oh, yeah, I keep getting jobs. Why do I have to train, right? Because a lot of people have the luck, right? They have the height, they have the perfect face, they keep getting gigs, and they're like, this is hey, I'm the SHIT, right?
Yeah, that's not me.
Right. But you're someone who I could see is very inspiring because you took everything that was handed to you and you kind of made the most of it. It kind of showed that everything kind of happened for a reason, the way it unfolded. Unfortunately, like a lot of things weren't the best situations for you to be in, But at the same time, it led you somewhere where you're like, wow, this is something I can be really proud of, and it's meant to be this way.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I love to learn the hard way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, apparently,
Yeah.
that's the only way I learn. If it's too easy, then I'm like,
yeah, which is great to be in this industry. You kind of need that, something to fuel you to find, like, okay, I realize it's not as simple as it is, right?
oh,
Another stereotype within this industry, people think they can wake up and they're like, yeah, I got that height, I got a couple of those. Yeah, well, how hard can this be, right?
it's extremely hard.
Yeah.
Like, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I thought, being an actor, like, I could do that. Like, this guy's horrible. She's not even that good. And then I get up there and I do it. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay. I get it. And yeah, like you were talking about the training. Like, I mean, I've done stage combat, Meisner. There's so many different venues, and then you just mix it all together and make your own.
Exactly. That's
yeah.
what I tell people all the time. I'm like, yeah, you can learn a method, find out if it works, but when you actually are out, if they're working, you're going to find a way that kind of works for you. Especially, and the next thing I want to pinpoint is taking things from people's experience, like your own life, to put into your role. And that's something that every individual actor is going to apply differently. Right, because we've all grown up somewhere else. We've all lived a different life or a different age, right? Different generations. And so I had read, like in one of your bios, that you take a lot of your experiences into the movies that you do. And I see you do a lot of kind of horror, kind of drama, kind of more gritty roles.
Yeah, I like them, like the horror or the gritty, just like drama. I could feel it. I mean, I've heard people say like actors with a hard life bring some of the best drama to the screens. But a lot of my professors at school, they're trying to draw me more towards comedy. They're like, you're a leading man and you're hilarious. I'm like, I am? I don't know what I'm doing half the time. Maybe that's what's so funny.
Yeah.
But I do love drama, but I've been dabbling more into comedy now and trying to bring the lighter side, or even like a really messed up scene, but make it funny, or maybe like dark comedy. Maybe you can play with that a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So if there was an actor speaking to you that was kind of new, kind of looking to you for guidance, and they asked you a simple question like, how would you approach a role? If you were granted a role and you were just given the script, because everyone has a different way, they would be like, how do you dive in?
For me personally, if I know I have the role, like I do script analysis. I break down that script beat by beat and try to figure out what's actually going on in just one particular scene. And if once I got that down in that particular scene, I start building the character off of that. And it doesn't have to be a crucial scene. I just need to know the background of this character. Like, how old is he? What, did he have a good upbringing, a bad upbringing? Like, and for me, it's the shoes.
Oh,
I don't
it's
know.
Different?
Yeah.
Huh.
Like, as soon as I find the shoes, I don't know, everything just seems to come together. I find his walk.
Oh.
I find his, antics in his face. Like, is he,
Yeah.
what's wrong with this guy? Or is he a happy guy? And, I mean, being an actor, I've learned a lot of empathy, which I seem to have been lacking in the Marine Corps. But with, walking in somebody else's shoes, so I can't judge my character.
Yeah.
Like, I've played some horrible people, too. And I'm like, it took me a while to shake one character off. And I didn't like that guy, but I was so good at playing him.
Yeah.
And he just stuck around for a little bit until I could just, couldn't shower enough. I couldn't get him off of me. But yeah, I wore his shoes. I never judged him. This is just him. This is who he is. Yeah. And as soon as I start judging my character, I can't play that guy because I already have things against him.
Right. You have to look at it from an unbiased point of view because to that person, that's how they think. They don't see anything wrong with it because they would have changed, right?
Yeah, right.
But you kind of take walking in someone else's shoes pretty literally, which is fantastic. That was probably the first time I ever heard an actor actually say the shoes in particular. Like, not just the whole costume, like the shoes, which is fantastic. So how would you as an actor, because this comes up a lot as well, and you're so immersed in a character, I know a lot of method actors have this issue, come down from the high of playing this role for a month, 2 months, and involving the pre-filming preparation. How would you shake that off?
Yeah, I mean, it brings, I just finished a film called My Little Nightmare with Joe Lujan and Carcass Studios, and that was the one where I played like this just, how do you describe this guy? not a very nice man.
Mm.
And that was the guy I couldn't shake. Like, I had him in my mind. I was egotistical, arrogant, just talk crap.
Yeah.
Like, hated everything. And, like, anything I could say to offend anybody, that was my job. And we were filming in a bar with, what is that? It's the gay bar in the art district. I cannot think of it off the top of my head. And I told everybody, like, everybody loved me and they thought I was a really nice guy. And I'm like, I just want everybody to know I'm going to offend everybody in this bar, so don't take it personally. And after that, like, if I got a look out of somebody or made them really mad, I knew I did a good job. But everybody was cool about it. And I had this, what was it? My buddy got me this cross, and it's made out of 550 cord, and it's a little blue cross with the Marine Corps emblem on it. And I keep it in my hand, or I keep it in my pocket, because that's me. That's like, I'm a United States Marine. I'm Bryant Smith. And so when I get weird and crazy, like, I grab it in my hand, I look at it, and I'm just like, that's me. That's me. And I forgot it for like a couple of days. It was just left it in my car, and I didn't have anything. So I just started getting crazier and meaner. Come home, and my wife is like, I don't like that guy. You go
she's calling
somewhere.
You out. She's like, oh, don't bring that here.
Yeah, so she doesn't let me get away with too much either. And so I had to have something, whether it's a necklace or something that reminds me of me that's close to me.
Yeah.
Like, I could think
to bring you back down, kind of.
Yeah, I've heard people using necklaces or a bracelet or a personal cross. And that's why I grabbed that cross, because my buddy gave it to me. And I'm like,
it's very personal. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
So it's just anything to bring you to you.
Yeah. So do you still do some modeling alongside going to school and then also doing films?
I've actually, done a little bit of modeling. I don't try to, but sometimes people hit me up and they're like, hey, can you do this real quick?
Yeah.
Or, hey, it pays. I'm like,
right.
Okay, I like money. And
Yeah. Do you approach them differently, or do you kind of approach them the same? When you're there as Bryant Smith, the model, versus you're going to audition on Bryant Smith as an actor.
Yeah, I mean, as an actor, like, going into a role, I'm always cool, calm, and collected. Even when I have to get crazy I have to be calm, because once I start getting tense, like, now I can't play. Now, my shoulders are up, my face doesn't play as much. As modeling, I'm just kind of like, I'm loose, like really loose.
Yeah, you don't feel as much pressure when you're modeling.
But I'm really tired after.
Yeah,
I'm not even doing anything.
It is. Especially when you're posing and holding things and waiting around, standing, whatever you're wearing.
Maybe
obviously, men are kind of different than women, but you know. But
I know. I mean, well, you guys have all like the dress and the beautiful hair, heels.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like a suit is pretty much. I can't do anything.
The
else.
posing for men's a little different too than men would do versus women. Obviously, it's not as dynamic.
Well, women always look elegant and beautiful, and I'm just kind of like.
I mean, you got to agree. Obviously, they love you because you keep getting hired, which is amazing. Now, what really is your motivation? What motivates you to continue doing this craft?
Honestly, when I really think about it, I was drinking a lot, and so I pretty much destroyed my relationship with my kids. And so they didn't want anything to do with me. And once I started this acting thing, they kind of took interest into it. So I was like, you know what if I made it on the big screen? Maybe they would be proud of me. Maybe they would want to, talk to me again. And in the past, couple of years, I've really gotten clean and sober and changed my life around. So now they're doing theater, and they're doing DPs for their school. They're doing the whole production. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, that's amazing. How old are they?
One just graduated from high school.
Oh, wow. Okay, so a lot older. Wow, nice.
Yeah. The other one's about to be a sophomore, and my youngest is going to be a freshman.
Wow.
So all girls.
So, oh man, and then you kind of were going through the whole high school teenager stage, so they have a lot of personalities alongside with, well, it's a lot you can take from as an actor. You can observe and you can watch.
With all girls, yeah.
Exactly. You learn a lot when there's people that are very open with their emotions around you, I feel. As an actor, you're more self-aware. You kind of observe people a little bit differently, do you feel?
Oh, yeah. I mean, because when I was in the Marine Corps, I had no emotion. It was either anger or fear. And then my fear just turned into anger, and then I was just angry all the time. But now I didn't know there's all these other emotions,
Yeah.
like happy, sad. I can cry and be happy at the same time, and now I can't turn them off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, they're everywhere all the time.
That's
which-
kind of good though, because I feel like acting's kind of bringing you to find out who you really are and trying to hit emotions that maybe you weren't kind of allowed to feel when you were in the military, because you kind of have to lead with more of a leadership and kind of think of things kind of in more reasonable and logical situations, right? So now you're kind of going through life in a different way, right? While playing other characters, but at the same time, you're kind of setting yourself to feel, who is Bryant, right? Who is Bryant Smith? Which is great, right?
Yeah, and the great thing is I get to not be Bryant Smith for a day.
Yeah.
Or I get to be, a car salesman or a military man again. So it's, man, acting's pretty fun.
Yeah, hard though. Yeah.
Yeah, it's exhausting. Learning lines, but it depends on who you're working with. Sometimes you get to, throw in some of your own lines.
Yeah.
I've been yelled at like, the word was in, not the. I'm like, oh, sorry.
Yeah, especially when they're training. They're not easy on you at school, right?
Oh.
Like they purposely will do things to make you kind of strip down all your egos, kind of strip your pride, because you're just kind of standing there like, fine, just tell me everything you hate about me, right? Like, yeah. So what is one thing that you really are really taking from your training? Like if there's one thing that you could say, I really took this from school, what would it be?
Ooh, from school?
Yeah.
Confidence. Like this was all fake confidence. This was all some BS. And when my professor told me, she's like, you're a very attractive young man. You're a leading man. I didn't believe her. Sometimes I still don't believe her. But she gave me that confidence to think of, she's like, you're kind of like a Ryan Reynolds. I'm like, I love Ryan Reynolds. I could do that. And so it was just building up that real confidence and having some real skill behind my, or under my belt. So I've worked with untrained actors or people who say that they're actors. I'm just kind of like...
There's a difference. You see it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't say anything like...
Right.
What I've been taught is be polite and be professional to everybody on set. Doesn't matter if they yell at you or scream at you. Doesn't matter if they're the grip. Doesn't matter. Just, you don't know who these people
are. And also
are.
focus on you. Everyone's there focusing on their job. If you're focused as you're an actor, no one could say you did it. You're like, hey.
Yeah.
Right? So when did you move to Vegas?
In 2019. At the end of 2019? Yeah.
Okay. So it's been pretty recent. So how have you felt watching the film industry kind of grow here in the city?
In Las Vegas, it's... So I was pretty established in California, and I was very excited to leave California and to come to Las Vegas. So I didn't know too much about Vegas, but I was ready to, plant my flag here. And so I just started auditioning for everything, talking to a lot of people here. Met some friendly people and not so friendly people. I learned who to stay away from.
Right. That never ends, by the way.
Yeah, I was kind of like... But if I'm polite and I'm nice to everybody, then I don't give a reason for anybody to, not like. I mean, if they don't like me, I can't do anything about it. It sounds like their problem.
Exactly. It always is, but they'll never make it that way, right?
Yeah.
But that's amazing. So you're kind of just growing networking. I feel like a lot is moving out here, which is great. And so you having already established yourself out in California, you kind of have that under your belt and kind of going both ways. And then if they do come here, you're already like, hey, you already know me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to bring a lot of my friends out here. I'm like, I know people out here, and plus you get to work with your friends. Like, is it really work?
It's a smaller community, so you kind of have your foot in many more options versus if you're fighting against how many tens of thousands of people in LA doing the same thing. You're like, oh my God, how many guys look like me? They're gonna walk in, we all look the same, right?
Exactly,
So, but that's so great. So now I always ask this question for all of my guests because your answer kind of sums up who you are as a person, and it's always amazing to hear the answer. But is there a motto that you particularly live by, a philosophy that you live by?
If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you.
There you go.
And that's why I like to learn the hard way.
Exactly. As you should. And it brought you here on the hot seat.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, here you are. Yeah, I'm so glad that you came. I'm so glad that we had a chance to talk and to let people kind of realize who you are, what drives you to what you do. You're a very, very humble person. You know, you have this he has a leading man, tough facade, but then like when you're sitting here and you're just talking, it kind of brings everything kind of to light, which is the purpose for my show. I love bringing who people are to light. You strip down of all of those things. The persona that you feel you have to have when you're working, right? You always gotta walk in, you gotta go, okay, 3, 2, 1, hi, right? Like, you know what I mean, you know, or even sell tapes like, hi, my name is, like,
oh yeah.
But here, like, I always like making people feel comfortable, and I'm glad that you kind of were very open with your past with me, and kind of, so congratulations on everything that you achieved and how far that you've come. So I applaud you so much on that.
Thank you. You
Now,
made it easy.
Thank you. I'm glad. So is there anything that you're working on or something that just premiered that maybe people can go see?
Oh yeah, what is it? Live Escape and Live Survival just came out, and it's on Amazon, Apple TV, Tubies, with Joe Lujan and Carcass Studios. So if you're online, check it out.
Amazing. And then you also kind of have a starometer on IMDb, which I saw.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, please tell people where they can find you, where they can connect with you if they're a filmmaker looking for an actor, your socials, your...
Oh man, yeah. How many are there? Bryant on Instagram, Bryant S. Smith on Instagram. If you want to catch all my flicks or anything like that, BryantSmith.biz. And man, I know there's other ones, but there's so many to. If you go to one, I'm sure you'll come across all the other ones.
Yeah, pretty simple name, easy to remember. I was able to Google him. He came right up, guys. So yeah.
It was
and
good,
then
right?
one more thing, like you also do stunts. I want to make sure that filmmakers know this. So
Oh, yeah.
stunts. I'm pretty sure you kind of take your athleticism from training in the military. But yeah, is that something you're really heavily training in that you want to make a thing?
Oh yeah, I mean I went to stunt school. I still have another semester of stunt school. I'm going to be going to Atlanta. That's it.
Oh, nice, yeah.
For the Las Vegas stunt school, or not Las Vegas. Where am I? I'm in Las Vegas, LA stunt school.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm constantly trying to learn different things.
Yeah.
And stunts are pretty fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to get thrown around, blown up, lit on fire. That's
And
cool.
it helps. You have tactical training, which is what's very, very prevalent when you do a film with tactical training, that you're doing it correctly. So
Oh yeah.
you already got that under your belt. So I mean,
Yeah.
you're already ready. You're like, I just gotta grab one more semester, a year to Academy of Arts.
2 semesters and then I'm done.
Yeah, so 2 more semesters, and you're like, all right, here we go. I'm ready.
Like, get me out there.
I know, but absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for coming on the hot seat. I cannot wait to follow you and continue to watch everything that you do and just kind of cheer you on from the side. It's absolutely amazing. And then hopefully one day we'll end up on the same set, apart from the hot seat set. But yeah,
I mean,
maybe
I
one
would
day.
love
Vegas
to.
is small. So I mean, we probably will eventually. But thank you so much for coming here. Bryant Smith, everybody. Make sure to follow him on his social medias. Look him up on IMDb. Follow everything that he's doing and cheer him on while he finishes his training. So yes, when we come back, we're going to hit the other side of film like I promised. So make sure you don't go anywhere and you stay tuned.